there are cities in America where over 90% of shootings are committed by Black and Hispanic people. There are cities where 70 and 80% are committed just by Black people. What are the police to do in a situation like this? Are the police to pretend that there are no patterns racially and therefore forsake the very communities that, most of whom are completely law abiding, that very much crave protection? The ones making the 911 calls are also Black people, right? Or do they risk going overboard and racial profiling and understandably, making a whole generation of young Black men resentful of the increased police attention that they're receiving by no fault of their own?
So how far away from getting that balance right do you think they are? I mean, how bad is the problem?
Well, I think we have seen examples where it goes too far on both ends and like sometimes at the same time. So for example, stop and frisk in New York, I would consider an example where the police went completely overboard. There's a whole generation of Black and Hispanic boys in New York that were humiliated, stopped and frisked, for marijuana, which honestly nobody cares about and nobody should care about, pinned up against a wall and embittered in their attitudes towards the police, probably for a lifetime, all in the name of saving a few lives. And sure, maybe it did save a few lives, but as a policy person, you can't simply optimize for the lowest number of lives lost without, taking on board the long-term consequences of, like, are you destroying trust between the police in a particular community, and how many lives will that cost in the long run? So stop and frisk would be an example of an overreach in one direction. At the same time, there's a great paper by Harvard economist Roland Fryer called Policing the Police, where he looks at instances where the Justice Department has investigated local police departments to determine how much racism there is, especially following events where a shooting is caught on viral video. And he's found that in that circumstance, when there's a viral video and an investigation of the police, homicides go up drastically. We saw this in Baltimore after Freddie Gray. Crime went up in the following month to an incredible degree. Crime has gone up in New York to an incredible degree in the past month, in Chicago. So when the police back off, that can also very much have consequences. So I'm not saying I know the correct balance. I think I can spot the overreaches, but I think it is just worth admitting that this is a situation that does have some inherent trade-offs, and we have to strike that balance.